Hello. So we're working today on an iPhone 13 that has no service. So this phone comes from a phone flipper. It's one of those guys that buy damaged phones and sell them for profit. The problem is that the phones they buy are almost always smashed. So they buy smashed phones, they do the casings and whatever, they change the back glass, they change whatever they consider to change the displays, and then they sell them. Well, there's a problem with these phones because these phones are usually really damaged and the boards have to suffer. So if it doesn't, well, if you break your phone and you don't have issues with the board after the break, it might go bad in a few weeks or in a few months and so on. So lately I didn't want to do broken phones anymore because they tend to come back and hunt us in, especially for warranties. And the second problem is that they come smashed, but they work. So you have display and everything. And for example, you don't have service. You put heat on the phone to split the boards, and then the CPU gets damaged because it was already damaged because of the fall. And yeah, there can be all sorts of problems with this. So here we have an iPhone 13 which looks good. I would say it looks great, except the display that is that looks like this, and it says cellular network issue, right? Luckily this is still on an older iOS. Let me figure out where is the settings. So we go to settings, general informations, and I can't really see. I think it's 18 or something like that. The important thing is that on this older iOS, I can just go and let me move the camera a bit. I can just go and dial star £06, right? And now it should display the IMEIs, and it should also display the EID, but I've got nothing. So this can be for various reasons. It can be that the baseband CPU is not working, the baseband CPU doesn't have a proper communication with the CPU, the baseband power supply, maybe it's not working, or it can be the baseband CPU, it's working, but it's a problem from the analog amplifier side. So to check that, we go to settings, general informations, and then we go here and we look for firmware modem. Well, you can't see very well because of these lines, but for firmware modem we have nothing here, so we should have here a version number for the firmware modem. This means that on this phone the baseband CPU is not up. Good. So it what could be the reasons for it not to be up? First of all, it might not be presented the enable sign from the PMIC. So the baseband is actually a CPU on its own. It has its CPU cores, it has its memory, it has its own power IC, which is called baseband PMU, and that baseband PMU is being told by the main phone PMIC to turn on, right? So you have an enable signal, and if that enable signal goes high, like 1.2 volts, then the baseband PMU will start and produce the LDO voltages, a lot of LDO voltages, and will start to produce the SMPS voltages required by the baseband CPU to work. So one reason is for it to not work is that it's not being told, its power supply is not being told to turn on. Second, it can be that there is a short on the power supply and it tries to turn on and it notices the high consumption and it goes off. Third, which is most which is the most probable for this phone, because it was smashed, it's probably there is a problem with broken pads between the board layers, right? So between the top board and the interposer. This is very usual with iPhone 13, and I told them that okay, I'm gonna have a look, I'm gonna split the boards, but if there are 10,000 pads missing, I'm not sure I'm gonna go on with the repair. Good, so now I'm gonna remove the board from this phone, I'm gonna split the boards, I'm not gonna video that, and then we can have a look and see further what's going on. Okay, so I took the liberty to split the boards and already clean the pads and everything. So let's have a look and see how's it looking. As you can see here, we have several broken pads, but not that many. So we are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pads. Yeah, the rest of the board looks quite well. Doesn't look bad at all. Remember, I've already removed the original solder and cleaned it. The same with the bottom board. Yeah, it looks quite nice. Nothing biggie. There's a few oxidized pads here and there, but they are mostly grounds, so I don't really care much about it. Yeah, but that's it. So now let's see what pads are those that are broken. Let's have a look on the board view. And we actually have it this way, right? So let's see. We have these three in the corner that are broken. So this one is good. And that's a PCI Express line that goes to the baseband. So that explains why we don't have baseband. I think this one is good. Another PCI Express line. Then we have a ground and another couple, but I'm not convinced about those. Let me fire up the power supply software. Just give me a second. Action diode, good. So did it appear on the screen? It did, right. So let's have a look here. If I find my probes, let's put this aside. Desktop, let me get the microscope here too, so we can see properly what we're doing. So I know that somewhere around here there's a ground, right? Is it this one? Yes. So this is ground, this is ground, and that's that point there. So then it means that this one, yeah, and this one are the PCI Express lines to the baseband. Then we have another ground, and then we're missing another two, this one and this one. And then we have another ground, which is good, and we're missing this one. Good, so all these need to be rebuilt. Good. All this, so this is ground that we don't need. This is good. This is ground. I'm gonna do a mark here that this is ground, so we don't need it. And that we need too. So basically all those here are required. What is this? This is Wi-Fi PCI Express line, Wi-Fi chip. This is Wi-Fi again. So probably the Wi-Fi didn't work either. I didn't even tested it. Baseband, baseband. Good. And this one is also baseband. So we are missing a lot of baseband baseband lines. Good. So let's try to rebuild those. I think I'm gonna use this. Or should I use? Let's see how it goes with the knife. If it doesn't go very well, very fast, then I'm gonna get the Dremel. I go like this. Good, 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 and good. Perfect. I think now it's time to reball the board. Yeah, so let me go and look for the stencil and I'm gonna be right back. Good, so I took some solder paste. I really don't like it. I hate it because it's not stable. It dries. I don't know. I don't like this tool. I think it's tool, right? Yeah, it's tool. I never had issues with mechanics, so that worked great. So this seems, now it seems wet, but when it was on the towel, it seemed like it was very dry. Also, when I took it off the jar. Also, my stencils are extremely old and used. I need to replace them. These are Kiali. I need to buy the Amaoe thingy because I have the Amaoe for the latest series like 15, 16, and those are great. And also they come in different sizes, so you can choose 0.10, 0.11, 0.12, and that is great. Yeah, I don't know what to say about this paste. I don't have very much luck with it, and this reballing thingy is terrible for me. Let's see. Still, I'm gonna use some dry piece of cloth. Somewhere here, for example, it seemed like too wet. Here on this side, it seemed like too dry, and I don't know. Let's see how it looks like when we lift it. So, what do we have? Well, I have a few bridges here, but maybe those will solve by themselves. So that was too wet here where I said it could be too wet. And here obviously where it felt a bit dry, it was a bit dry because you see there's less solder paste there. Yeah, so that is annoying. Let me clean this part here. because I don't like it to blob. Yeah, let me put also this aside. With a piece of towel, paper, toilet paper, whatever. I'm gonna put it here, otherwise the mat will gonna suck all the heat. And it's gonna be a bit more difficult for me to actually reball this. And now here comes the hot air. Okay, let's see now the bridgy part is here. Yeah, but it recovered, so it's fine. Yes, I think we're good. We are good. So now I just want here to clean something. Now I'm gonna add some flux while the board is hot. I'm gonna put some flux all around it. Okay, I'm trying to make something so you can see it too. That's why I'm struggling here with this board. I think I've also added a bit too much flux. Good, so now I'm gonna get the hot plate. The repair MS1, I'm gonna do the boards, solder them together and be right back. Alright, so I think the board already cooled off. I had a customer coming and I had to go downstairs and meet him. Let's see. I just took the board from the MS1, I repair MS1 heater. Yeah, I'm just gonna grab it with some alcohol. I dropped here some solder. I should have wicked it, but that's life. Okay, and let's see how it looks like. Doesn't look pretty here on this side. Yeah, so this is where it flexes the most and where those, I think, where those broken pads were. Let's hope it will make contact. Good, so I'm gonna connect the power supply. Let me find the proper socket. Okay, and you can see the power supply up, the second one. I'm gonna power it on. Yeah, we have no short. And let's try to prompt it to boot. Is this the pin? It is, yeah. Looks good. I'm gonna stop it. And I'm gonna install the screen. Okay, we don't put the front flex because it's gonna prevent me from powering it on with the tweezers. Okay, gonna open it and let me try to prompt it to boot. I need to pick this up 1 second. Sorry, I got interrupted by a call. So let's try to boot it on again. Okay, so we got the Apple logo. I don't know how to make you see it. Let's try this, right? It's a bit difficult to hold it. I still get the cellular network issue, but I don't really care much because it can be, it could be, it remain like that, but the Wi-Fi is working. You know, we had a broken pass there too. And if I go to general informations, I have firmware modem here. Well, you don't see it properly, but it's right here. So now if I dial *pound 06 pound 06 pound, yeah, I'm getting the IMEIs and EIDO, MEID. So this was it. It was a nice repair. This happens often with iPhone 13s where those pads really break quite often. So this was it. Not a very interesting repair, but it's the most usual repair that we get for broken iPhones. Thank you for watching. See you later. Give me a like if you like the video, subscribe if you didn't already, and see you next time. Bye bye.